Hello, algebra students. Mr. Lawrence here, and we're going to learn how to factor trinomials when a is not 1. You can see some trinomials here. I'm going to do 6 examples. Make sure you take some notes on these. They're not that difficult, but you have to consider your math facts. All right. In this situation, when a is not 1, I'm going to list the factors of a. I'm going to list them in order. And then I'm going to list the factors of c. 1 and 15, and then 3 and 5. Now, it's a little more complex. I'm going to take one of the factors of A and multiply it by one of the factors of C. And then I'm going to multiply their partners. For example, I might do 1 times 1 and then 2 times 15. Okay, I couldn't do 1 times 1 and 2 times 5, right? Okay, I have to do the partners that go together. Now, my goal is to get this middle number. Now, sometimes I'm going to be adding, or sometimes I'm going to be subtracting to get that number. Here's how I tell. If C is positive, I add. If C is negative, I subtract. So, let's try it. Let's go 1 times 1, that would be 1, and 2 times 15, that would be 30. Added would be 31. That's way too big. I only need 13. Hey, how about this? What if I go 2 times 5? 2 times 5, that would give me 10, wouldn't it? And then 1 times 3 would give me 3. And if I add 10 plus 3, sure enough, I get 13. Okay, so I've got the right factors. Now here's how I break this apart. I'm going to have two quantities. Okay, and in the first quantity, I'm going to have a 1x, and then this 2x will lead off the second quantity. Now, when I double distribute, normally I end up multiplying these two together and these two together, right? When I double distribute. And so what I do is I follow this little loop. The 1 goes with the 3. So I come down here and the 1 goes with the 3. The 2 goes with the 5. So the 2 goes with the 5. When there's a plus in the back, it's the Wendy's double stack. They're both positive. Okay, now I knew they were both going to be positive because I had a positive 10 and a positive 3. That's another way to think about it. Okay, so this one is completely factored. All right, let's try this one here. It's going to be a little more complex because there's sorry about that. There's more factors. Well, I guess it won't be that bad though because C only has 2 factors. So 1 and 6 and 2 and 3. And over here I have 1 and 5. Now this time I notice that C is negative, which means I'm going to subtract to get this number. All right, well, I happen to see 3 times 5 is 15. 2 times 1 is 2. Now I want to subtract to get a positive 13. Well, that would be the problem, 15 minus 2. If the 13 had been negative, I would have done 2 minus 15. Okay, so I'm ready to factor. I'm going to make my two quantities. And I know my 8 factors of A are going to lead off the quantities. I'm going to have a 2x and a 3x. I'm going to put these little loopies in, these little guides. Boom and boom. I know that 2 got multiplied by 1. So I'm going to follow the loopy from 2 and put a 1 there. And then the 3 got multiplied by 5. So follow the one from the 3x and put a 5. Now I need a positive 15. So the 5 must be positive because this would be 15, right? I need a negative 2. So the 1 must be negative. And there you go. It's completely factored. All right, let's try number 3. Getting a few more factors here. Going to list them. Got what? 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. 1 and 4, 2 and 2. Now I'm going to subtract with the intention of getting negative 13. All right. Ooh, I think I see it. I think I see it. A 16 and a 3. 16 minus 3 would get me 13. 3 minus 16 would get me negative 13. So I'm going to take this 4 and multiply it by a 4. There's my 16. And a 3 times a 1. There's my 3 I mentioned. And remember, I want 3 minus 16. So my 16's got to be negative. My 3's going to be positive. I'm ready to make my two quantities. The first quantity will have a 3x. The second quantity will have a 4x. Put those little guides in, those little loopy doopies. There we go. All right, so the 3 got multiplied by a 1. And, oop, that's not a 1. There we go. 3 got multiplied by a 1. And it's a positive, isn't it? Right, because it's a positive 3. So yeah, the 4 got multiplied by a 4. And I need a negative 16 for an answer, so it's a negative. There you go, it's factored. All right, 15. 1 and 15, 3 and 5. Factors of 8, 1 and 8, 2 and 4. Looks like I'm adding because C is positive. Notice in part 3, problem 3, C was negative, so I subtracted. In number 2, C was negative, I subtracted. But in number 1, C was positive, so I added. All right, so let's see here. Let's see what we got going on. I need to add to get 22. And I know they're both going to be negative because a plus in the back will mean a Wendy's double stat. I see 26. I see 43. Oh, there we go. How about a 3 times a 4? That's 12. And a 5 times a 2, which is 10. And they're both going to be the same sign so that I can add them and get negative 22. All right, here we go. Let's do the quantities. Okay, so I'm going to have a 3x and a 5x. And then got to put my little guides in. Yeah, my little loopies. There we go. Okay. And 3 got multiplied by 4. Needs to be a negative, like I said. And the 5 got multiplied by 2, and it needs to be a negative also. There it is. If you were to double distribute these two quantities, you would end up with this original expression, this original trinomial. All right, why don't you pause the video and try 5 and 6 on your own? See what you can do, and then I'll be more than happy to show you how to do them. It's not a video quiz, it's a chance to practice. All right, if you're still watching, I assume you're ready to see my solution. So 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4, and 1 and 10, and 2 and 5. I know that C is negative, so I'm going to subtract to get negative 7. Let's see here. A 15 and an 8 ought to do it. There's a 15 right there, and there's an 8 right there. I'll need a positive 8 and a negative 15 so that I can end up with a negative 7. This will factor as a 3x, and a 4x like that. The 5 will be over here with the 3. The 4 will be with the 2. The 8 will be positive. The 15 will be negative. Bam, there it is. I didn't put the loopies in because I don't need them, but you go ahead and use them, okay? All right, number 6. Again, if you haven't tried it, please pause the video. All right, I got 1 and 6. I've got 2 and 3, and I've got 1 and 5. Again, C is negative, so I'm going to be subtracting. Oop, that kind of looks like a 15, doesn't it? Let me rewrite that as 1 and 5, so it looks a little better. 1 and 5. All right, so how about a 10 and a 3? How about a 10? There's a 10. And a 3. Now I need a 3 to be negative and the 10 to be positive. So I'm going to have a 2x, a 3x, The 2 got multiplied by 5. I need it to be positive. The 3 got multiplied by 1, and I need it to be negative, and there you go. All right, we're going to get some practice with this in class today. Mr. Lawrence signing off. Have a good night, everybody.